The fentanyl epidemic is affecting communities and families all across the Midlands. SLED telling us tonight that the numbers of fentanyl overdoses have almost tripled now since 2015. The Quillman family, one of many losing a loved one from the drug. News 19's Eleanor Tabone tells us more.
3 years ago, Mimi Quillman started an endowment fund at the University of South Carolina to help students struggling with addiction. It's a topic her family knows too well. The fund, named in her son Travis's honour, after losing him to an overdose in 2017.
We got that call that is literally every parent's nightmare, that you think will never happen to your family, to your child, that he had passed away.
January 20th, 2017, Quillman says Travis decided to try heroin for the first time. Hours after ingesting the illicit drug, Travis was dead. He was only 32. Travis's mum spoke to me from her home in Philadelphia, located just a few miles from where Travis died.
I'm actually sitting in his room right now.
Mimi recounts memories of her son.
Our son, Travis, was a high school athlete, football, silver medalist in high jump. He went on to University of South Carolina. He was very, very bright, funny, lit up the room when he walked in.
Mimi says Travis was a USC graduate. He worked for a hedge fund and he was also an alcoholic. He spent some time in rehab. 7 weeks after his most recent stint in 2016, he was dead.
Apparently purchased some heroin, what we can gather together, and it was laced with fentanyl, 43%, and passed away.
According to the US Drug Enforcement Agency, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It can be up to 100 times stronger than morphine and was originally developed for pain management in the treatment of cancer patients. Over the years, some have begun mixing it with recreational drugs. We wanted to find out about fentanyl overdoses here in the Midlands. 2 local coroners agreed to speak with us.
Never dreamed that I would see this many people succumb to the opiates.
5 years in office, Sumter County Coroner Robbie Baker fears overdoses will be the reason his morgue remains full.
I've autopsied 19 bodies since January 1st this year, and 5 or 6 of those are suspected drug overdose deaths.
Have you ever seen anything of this magnitude when it
No, ma'am. You're getting cocaine laced with fentanyl, you're getting heroin laced with fentanyl, methamphetamines are being laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl is the common denominator.
Coroner Nada Rutherford says she is seeing similar cases in Richland County.
We had about 59 fentanyl deaths, and I want to be clear that the number is not precise because we're still receiving toxicology reports from 2021.
Rutherford became coroner just over a year ago.
I don't think that I realized before I became the coroner just how many cases there were. When I look at this paper, I'm sitting here, this is, pages and pages, and these are all cases that are drug related. Fentanyl is a game changer in that people don't know it's in their heroin. They don't know it's in their cocaine. They don't know it's in the oxycodone that they're taking.
Statewide in 2015, there were 130 fentanyl overdoses across South Carolina. That number rose to 537 in 2019.
It is very potent, much more so than morphine, much more so than heroin, so while it is an excellent pain medication, its potency, when mixed with other drugs or in place of other drugs, can cause a lot of significant side effects.
Dr. William Richardson with Prisma Health and the medical director for South Carolina Poison Control says the number of fentanyl calls doubled from 2019 to 2020, with another 50% increase from 2020 to 2021.
It's not uncommon for me to see a case in an 8-hour shift.
On the front lines, he is administrating the antidote to the ones that make it to the ER.
That's been one of the tricky things with the fentanyl experience, is that can be variable. Sometimes that can require more Narcan than it would take in the past to have reversed a heroin overdose.
Dr. Richardson says fentanyl gives you a high, but on the come down, it starts to slow your breathing, to the point you stop breathing. With oxygen levels that low, the risk of brain injury increases. Michelle Niemhuis is with the Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services. She says an addict's path to recovery varies, and so does treatment.
They, are prescribed medication from a doctor, from a physician. They have the ability, along with that medication, to have the talk therapy that's needed.
For the Quillman family, they are still dealing with the reality of Travis's death. They are hoping, however, that his name lives on through the USC endowment.
We know Travis would be really happy to know that he was able to help someone else.
Eleanor Tabone, News 19 WLTX.
The Travis Quillman Endowment Fund has raised $70,000 so far. According to USC, they will be awarding their first scholarship to students in need of recovery supportive housing this summer. Now, according to DHEC's most recent numbers, in 2019 in Orangeburg County, 9 people died from a fentanyl overdose. There was 1 person in both Newberry and Fairfield counties that died that same year, while there were 27 people that died in Lexington County in 2019.